The Xbox was originally named DirectXbox as it was initially designed to show how Microsoft's DirectX graphics technology could benefit the console market. Welcome to Professionally Casual Gamers, the podcast where two friends kick back after a long and cold work week to casually talk about everything gaming. I'm your host, Alex, joined by my co-host, Ralph, who has a fear of big foreheads.
Oh my god!
How have you been, Ralph?
I'm good. Maybe I have a fear of big foreheads is because I have myself. I have a giant ass forehead myself, so it's something that I like to avoid. So
nice. Yeah, we'll get into why Ralph has a fear of big foreheads in a hot second. But yeah, thank you for joining us for today's episode. We're kicking off, episode 23. Before we get into the industry news, let's talk about what's been keeping us busy this week. Ralph, start us off.
Well,
lip smacking
good. I've been playing League of Legends with Alex, but I did end up beating Demon Souls. And I started playing a game called Oxenfree. So that was a really cool game that I wanted to do.
What is Oxenfree?
Oxenfree is this little indie game. I haven't beaten it yet. I saw it on Game Pass, and I know a lot of people were talking about it a couple of years ago, and they said it was like a really great experience. So
yeah, I remember hearing about it. Yeah, it was kind of a while ago. So when you said that, I was like, is that the one game? Randomly? Yeah.
So it was it's a nice palate cleanser. I'm definitely going to play Persona 5 Strikers next week. So get excited for more Persona talk.
Yeah, exactly. like half of our podcast episodes have had some sort of Persona talk. But actually, easily, because I played 4 Golden. Yeah. And then
Yeah, so Persona 5 Strikers is coming out next week, but I wanted to fill in the gaps between Demon Souls and Persona 5 Strikers. Before I wanted to talk about Oxenfree, I did want to touch base a little bit about Demon Souls.
I'm already tilted.
Alex and I have been speaking about it offline. When I beat it, I actually called him immediately and just told him it's a very good game, but I'm very disappointed.
I wanted to physically harm him.
Oh no, I could feel.
And now that we're in the
kick.
same room.
Yeah. But one of my main things, and listeners, you've kind of gotten the sense of this throughout the last couple of episodes. I'm enjoying Demon Souls, but it's just a little bit too easy for me. And what I mean by that is there's just the systems that they've built upon in the game when they first came out. You can really use the shield as a crutch, and it really simplifies the encounters in the game. And what I've said last week is, the combat, the bosses, you're supposed to lose 10, 20, maybe 15 times against them. And that 16th time or that 21st time, that's the one that you win. And then it feels really good. But the issue with Demon Souls and why I felt a little bit disappointed is for the bosses, I've beaten them either once or twice, like the first try or the second try. So I didn't get that sense of satisfaction to try to get to the bosses, and it just wasn't there. But it's still a very good game. I think people should still check it out. Blue Point, I think, did a very fantastic job. The world is beautiful. I think the Souls genre has just evolved so far and beyond what Demon Souls is. I think people should respect it, but it might not be for you if you've already played the other Souls games, and the difficulty curve might just not be there for you.
Oh
no.
Yeah, no. So I've more or less accepted your views on it and your statements, and I don't mean to lessen them or
I don't mean to shit
or
on your
invalidate.
Yeah.
That was what I was looking for. I don't mean invalidate your views, your opinions. I think it's fair. It did. This was a game that made the genre, the Soulsborne, Souls-like genre. It came from this game, and it definitely is easier than its, the games
contemporaries.
The games that came after. The games that are born from Demon Souls. And, that's because, this started off okay, this is how we can iterate and make it better. So in a way, that's logical. I will say, even though it is easier...
Don't you dare.
No,
do not bring up the shield thing.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. Even though it is easier than the other Souls games, it is harder than your average video game in general.
That's true. I would agree.
So even though it is easier, you still need to pay attention to what you're doing, when you're fighting a boss. It's not just you can kind of halfly play this game while you're on your phone or something. I would say it does demand your full attention. So yeah, definitely, that might be a misconception from like what we're talking about.
Yeah. It's coming from people that have played Souls games before, so I don't want to discourage other players that love the Souls genre. But honestly, this is a perfect entry point for anyone that's been so scared to try a Souls game because you've heard that it's super difficult. I think this is the perfect game for you.
Yeah, and then if you have played like any of the Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, whatever, and you're thinking about jumping into it, I think you still should, because the structure of the worlds is completely different. It's actually like 180 from how the other games are with the hub world and just like how drastically different they are. So there's definitely something for everyone in this game. And it's a good looking game. There's not many PS5 exclusives out there. So if you are looking for another one to play until like, God of War comes out, Ratchet and Clank, which got delayed until like June, I want to say. I would still recommend it.
Yeah.
It can be a good time.
Yeah, I would recommend it too. And then my last point about my experience with the Souls game, and I think Alex kind of agreed to this when we spoke about it last time. The ending was just really weird to me because I really wanted a really big, bad, difficult boss, and honestly, I thought the final boss was probably one of the easiest encounters in the game. So that was kind of sad. And
so there's like two final boss, like, did you mean like the slug thing?
Both of them.
King?
Both of them.
That's true.
So like, because even the king, the moves were so easily telegraphed that you could dodge them really quickly.
Yeah.
The only move that was difficult to dodge was if he hit you once, and then it would be kind of game over. But I had so much health, and I had so many health items that it didn't really matter.
Totally.
But yeah, still a great game. The issue was the final boss that they had. I really wanted to fight it, and you just don't get a chance to do it.
Yeah, they definitely set up for like a nice like cinematic huge boss, and it's like this crappy slug thing. Right. It's like, it's kind of fun to just wail on it.
Yeah,
because like I was like super underpowered. I got 2 shot by its original boss. And now I'm just like kicking this thing's teeth. And so like it's kind of cool, but also like it could have been so much more. It should have been so much more. So I agree.
Yeah, to end it on there, I think it's still a very good game. So I did end up playing Oxenfree. I played it last night. It's a relatively short experience. I ended up Googling short games that I could play in between other games, and Oxenfree showed up, and it was on Game Pass. So since I had Game Pass, it was the perfect kind of experience to add to my games to play. I definitely have a backlog, but I did not want to jump into a long, lengthy game. I initially didn't like Oxenfree when I checked it out. I thought the art style was a little bit weird, and then the gameplay was a little bit weird. But as you go further into the game, the story and the characters really take hold of you, and it's just a very interesting and fascinating story that I want to see it through to the end. So if you have a weekend or one night that you just want to trudge through games, I think it's perfect. I'm planning on finishing up either this game tonight or tomorrow, and it's a really good experience. I really like it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Cool. On my end, I've still been playing Control, which is again free on PS4, PS5 if you're a PlayStation Plus member. It's really cool. Honestly, my only complaint is that the map is just like
confusing.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be either, because I've played games that also have like confusing maps, like Metroid Prime, Star Wars Fallen Jedi. Also, it's considered like kind of a Metroidvania. Yeah. And the fact that like you visit the same areas, but like new areas are being unlocked, and there's multiple levels, and like they have like those maps are like they're winding. They can be super confusing, but the way that they let you view the map in like Metroid Prime and Fallen Jedi order is like you can not only just view it top down, you can like flip into like a 3D model, and that would help Control so much, because there's like, I don't know if you've played this, listeners, like the first area, like the executive area, is so hard to navigate. Right. Like it's to the point where it's easier to find a place because there's like signs on the walls, opposed to looking at the map. Yeah. So that's the only thing I'm like, did no one make that suggestion to like have like a more 3D modular look to the map? I think that would have gone That would have had a lot of yield, a lot of positive yield for that. Gameplay is really awesome, though. I got the ability to, like, float and, like, you slowly descend. And so it's cool to, like, float around and then, like, throw, like, the debris or, like, the fire extinguisher just at someone's dome. It's a really fun game. And there's RPG mechanics where, like, you level up your character, you level up abilities. And it's always nice to see, like, when you do level up or put, like, a point into this, you really see the difference in your character. Because in a game like we both love The Witcher 3, fantastic game. But whenever I put in like a new skill point or I leveled up, it felt like the same character. It wasn't really much. But in Control, you really see the difference, which is awesome. Yeah, you add a point to the gun and it's like, oh, I start one-shotting enemies. Yeah. That's a great feeling. Yeah, it's really awesome. The story's really cool. Yeah. I just met like possibly the main antagonist. I won't really go into it, but yeah, it's so cinematic in the ways it wants to be. Like when it wants you to feel like the tension, like really just feel the tension in the air and the suspense, like it knocks out of the park. So have you gotten to my favorite area? You would know what it was, like the trippiest section in the game. I don't know. Okay. I've seen a lot of trippy stuff in Control. No, you would know. It's probably the pinnacle of the game, I would say. It's the coolest set piece. So you would probably understand what that means if you're like, oh, this is what Ralph was talking about. Yeah, probably not. I think I'm in like the last third of the game. Okay. What's I don't want to spoil it for the listeners, but it's good that you're enjoying it. It was definitely an underrated game when it came out. I don't know what other games came out when Control came out. I know it won a lot of awards, but I just feel as though no one played this game. So what's funny is I saw a recent article on Reddit saying that 505 Games had their financially most successful year last year. Because everyone played Control? Yeah, and the funny thing is, Control didn't even release last year. Right. It just, like, has gotten more popular. Like, they released the Ultimate Edition. Right. Like, it's been on sales, whatever. So it has... I think maybe at launch it didn't get the recognition it deserved, but its popularity has been ramping up, which is good. And now, it's very available for PlayStation users. So, yeah, definitely check it out. Having a good time with that. I probably would have beaten it by this episode if I didn't hear about this new Demon Slayer video game coming out. So, for those wondering... Is Bandai Namco publishing it? It's, Bandai Namco and CyberConnect 2. They're back at it, the boys. So it's Demon Slayer is an anime. And, of course, our resident weeb, Cone, he's been telling me to watch it for a while. So this anime came out last year, and... Oh, it's new. Newish. Yeah. Yeah, I think it came out like early 2020. So or like early 2020 or maybe even like late 2019. I don't know. I think it might be late 2019 because I remember talking to people about Demon Slayer in the office. And that's before the COVID times. Before COVID, yeah. But yeah, this is like if you're in the community, if you have friends who are kind of into it, they probably would have told you to watch it because this is definitely like an anime, like a gateway anime, where you can tell one of your friends, a normie, if you will, to check it out because like there's really good pacing. There's not like there's some tropes, some is there weird anime stuff, and there's not weird anime stuff. Okay, yeah, where like if someone walked in the room, 3 different weird anime stuff that I can think of. Like if someone walked in the room and you're watching the show, like it would be fine. Okay. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of those, and that's part of why anime gets a bad reputation, at least. But yeah, Demon Slayer is cool. Generally, what's about is big foreheads. You like it? Yeah, it dips into the Japanese lore with onis or demons. That's the English translation. Kind of like vampires, in the fact that if one demon can infect a human and they become a demon. So it's about this guy who his sister becomes a demon, but she's still like semi-conscious. So they're trying to restore her, basically. Right. So news of a game, which is an arena fighter because it's an anime game. So it needs to be this online arena fighter. So very similar to like the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games. They're going to make a Demon Slayer game on PlayStation 4, 5, and also the Xbox consoles, probably PC as well. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I'll watch the Demon Slayer anime. And it's on Netflix, it's on Crunchyroll, very readily available. It's a cool show. I love the Storm games, so I'm definitely going to check it out. It seems like basically where the Storm games are going now, because the Naruto anime is over, So they need like new source material to cover it. And Boruto sucks. Don't even.
Alex is
laughing.
like, I need something to fill my void.
I know. Yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but yeah, the characters. Two of the characters have huge foreheads, and that's why Ralph isn't watching it. Great anime, awesome pacing, awesome cinematic, awesome animation. He's like, big foreheads, can't do it.
So Alex, it's funny because Alex and I actually watched this together a while back.
Like the first 4 episodes or something.
Yeah. And then one thing that I do want to note, and I'm sure maybe it picks up, it was a little bit dragging.
Yeah, I'll say, the pacing and just like the general storyline get a lot better after the first 4 episodes.
Okay, because that's when we stopped. I'm just like...
Yeah, literally, like, it gets better after we stop.
I might check it out just so that I can, clap some cheeks.
And the game,
on this anime game.
Yeah, those games are fun. Anime games have such a reputation of being totally crappy, which is
Storm
fair.
games. Alex is like, the Storm games are great.
Honestly, yeah, the Storm games are, like, unironically good games.
The Super Smash Bros. Of Japan.
Kinda.
Well, Japan, the Super Smash Bros. is the Super Smash Bros. Of Japan.
That's funny. So, yeah, watching the anime anticipation of the game. I think it's launching this year, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome. So, let's get into some industry news. First off, Mortal Kombat, baby. Mortal Kombat released their first trailer. I think it released for us yesterday as a recording, which was the 18th. Or was it today?
I don't know. It was recent,
Time is weird. Time is weird.
Time doesn't exist. We're in a void.
Exactly. So they released their first trailer for the movie, which is coming to theaters and HBO Max in April. I feel kind of conflicted.
It's close to my birthday, and I'm very excited.
Yes, your birthday, which I totally
Which is
knew.
April 13th.
Yeah. Oh, that is like super close to it.
Yeah.
So, listeners, if you already haven't checked out the trailer, please do. Just one easy YouTube search away. Ralph, a couple of questions for you. What are your thoughts on the trailer, and are you excited for this movie to come out?
Yeah, so I'm super excited for this movie to come out.
Super excited.
Yeah.
That actually kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I don't know if you would know this, but I loved the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was so bad and campy, but now...
Exactly, like the Mario movie.
Right, but the Mario movie was so far separated from the source material that it was just bad camp, while this was so close to the source material and it was still good. I rewatched after I watched the trailer for the new one. I immediately looked up the trailer for the old one.
That's a good call.
Crazy.
I haven't rewatched the old one in such a long time. Like, I feel like I watched it when I was like around 5 years old.
Not appropriate.
And I haven't seen it since. So,
what do you call it? I just remember from the old movie where Liu Kang turns into a dragon, and it's probably the worst looking dragon you've ever imagined. I don't even remember that. Wow. But going back to this new movie, I'm super excited about it. I've always been kind of lukewarm when it comes to video game movies, and I'm super stoked for this movie because it looks like they took it very seriously. There's a lot of production into it. Granted, we don't know what the acting's gonna be like because a lot of it was like the fighting, but based on what you saw in the trailer on the fighting, it looks pretty cool. Like at the end part in the trailer, Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight, and Sub-Zero cuts Scorpion and turns the blood into ice and stabs him with a bloody icicle, and it looks super cool. It's very reminiscent of the new Mortal Kombat games. It's way gorier. Sam told me she doesn't want to watch it because it looks very violent, and it's totally fine.
That is one thing they're known to be.
Yeah, but it kind of pushes the line because this is photoreal. But I am very excited for it. My only gripe about the trailer and probably the movie is that Scorpion doesn't sound like Scorpion. So when he said come over here, I was like, get over here. Get over here. That's not what Scorpion sounds like. Everyone knows what the get over here. Yeah, and the thing is, like, everyone
who's watching, I was like, okay, say it, do the thing. And he's like, get over here. Like, get over here. You know, like, there's no like grit. Like gumption.
I do appreciate that Raiden is Asian. Because in the original Mortal Kombat movie, I don't know if you remember, he's a white guy and it's super weird.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. But I'm super stoked for it.
Aren't like most of them Asian?
Most
of them, yeah. They're it's actually now that I think about it, like Mortal Kombat's kind of like pretty well diverse. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like too like when I saw the trailer release, I was like, okay, yeah, like, I'll get around to watching it. I wasn't like I need to stop what I'm doing and like watch this trailer. So I did watch it, and I was like, I can get on board with this.
Yeah,
it seems
looks
like
cool.
a good time. Yeah, it seems like a good time. We've kind of talked about this in the past where we're not like crazy for the Mortal Kombat series.
I don't like the systems.
I wish I was, because they seem like they've a lot of history. NetherRealm, the studio that does it, is in Chicago, so that like, you know, it's got some like hometown feeling to it, some attachment.
Yeah, it used to be Midway Games.
Yeah, Midway, then NetherRealm. Yeah, it's clunky.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel smooth, and that's always been kind of their thing. And the issue is they can't divert from it because the fans would get so mad. Like the people that actually play the games would get so mad because it wouldn't feel correct. So
yeah, but I mean, people, like you said, there are fans. People do love the games. Like there's a really popular esports competitive side to it. So whatever they're doing, they seem to be doing well with it. It's just. I wish it was more up my alley, to be honest. But I heard a lot of awesome things about like the latest Mortal Kombat 11, I want to say. How it really embraced its identity of like really like edgy, hardcore action scenes.
It's almost like camp.
Yeah. Like a mixture of like it's over-the-top action that's like cool, but also like it is campy. And then also it knows when to be a little more serious with its dramatic moments, like in the storyline. Like I heard the story mode in Mortal Kombat 11 was great because like it kind of harmonized, so to say, those three elements. And I think the movie will do that too. Because it definitely, like, you could tell there's some serious story beats. Then there's like some funny, like it just looks kind of campy. Like Scorpion and Sub-Zero fighting, it's like, this is so over the top, but also like it's cool at the same time. So I'm totally down to watch this. Would you watch it on HBO Max in the comfort of your home, or would you watch it in theaters?
I'd watch it on HBO Max because we already have HBO Max.
But the theater experience.
Yeah, the theater experience is gonna be fun. You're wearing a mask. You can't eat your popcorn.
True. Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I haven't been to the theater since
I understand the theater experience. You miss it, and it's great. But like in the current situation, like yes, you can go to theater, but do
you need to keep your mask on in the theaters?
I think so. Or maybe I don't know.
Yeah, how do you drink?
I've never been there, but maybe they don't sell food. Like it's just one of those things where I just want to be comfortable. Like even if they did let you take off your mask, or even if you did get like food, or like people are 6 feet apart or whatever apart, all I could think about would be like, probably shouldn't be here. Like that's all I could think about, and I probably wouldn't be able to focus.
Yeah, I wonder what the capacity is.
Yeah, you can rent theaters now. So
probably
maybe,
for like super cheap.
Yeah.
Let's get a viewing party.
Maybe.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Right.
I don't know how much that'd be, but.
Yeah, but like I have a pretty decent sized TV, and it's like a very nice TV, so I don't have any qualms watching stuff.
I'm looking at it, and for some reason that barbecue sauce bottle is still by the TV.
Why are you outing me to the listeners?
I don't know why that barbecue sauce bottle should be anywhere near that TV. Wow. Not near the kitchen. Opposite side of the apartment.
God. I don't know why he's outing me.
And it's warm right now. It's gonna be gross. Nah, dude, don't disrespect the sweet baby Rays like that. Put it back in the fridge like it needs.
Oh my god!
It's probably been like a day.
Just as context, everyone, I left the barbecue sauce out overnight.
And I'm looking at it.
And then I cleaned up this morning.
Did you though?
Yeah, I cleaned up this morning. I didn't have enough hands, so I took the dishes to the kitchen and I left the barbecue sauce on the mantle. Yeah. I am so sorry, world.
You're forgiven, I guess.
Alex has not been able to let go of the barbecue sauce.
Okay, it doesn't help that I'm literally just looking right at it. Just where I'm positioned with the microphone.
Quality content. But yeah, no, Mortal Kombat looks really cool. I'm very excited for it. One thing I do want to shout out, speaking of movie trailers, it's not really video game related, but the Cruella movie trailer.
Oh, I did
so
see that,
good.
Yeah.
And I'm super stoked. I'm so excited to watch it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies coming out this
Emma Stone. We'll see.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so, man, I really wish the theaters were just
a thing. I miss that Dolby Atmos where they're like, they do the wave.
Yeah.
And then like the the projector's still on and it's like pure black.
Sure, yeah. But man, it's a shame, but good movies nonetheless. More video game movies. It's
starting to be recognized.
Yeah. It's just hopefully they're good.
Yeah. We're totally rambling on this episode, but I do want to bring back for the Mortal Kombat trailer thing.
Okay.
Is that I just hope the actors are good because it looks like they're a bunch of unknowns. And so
I don't think I recognized any of them.
So I hope this is their launching point rather than remember that one time that person did that
Mortal
movie.
Kombat.
Yeah.
Rip. Yeah. Hopefully my boy Kung Lao gets a good actor.
Yeah.
He's cool. Okay. Anyway, so we'll see that movie and we'll probably talk about it in an episode. So that'll be fun. Let's talk about the next piece of information, the Nintendo Direct, which was cool. And very notable, not, because it wasn't a mini Direct, because they've had a lot of those, I feel like, but I guess the last actual Nintendo Direct was back in September. So this was pretty cool.
I don't think a Nintendo Direct happened in 2020, though. They were all mini Directs, I feel like. That's why they had to make a statement about it.
Was it? So it was September. It may have been September, not 2019, then.
I think that it may be, because
it was some September.
The biggest one I remember is the Pokemon Direct, and that was technically a mini Direct.
Yeah. Which, again, launched on an episode that I was hosting.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that way.
They love you.
They do. Cool. So let's dive in this Direct. There's a lot of stuff that was announced. We're going to go through most of it, because there's some stuff that I was like, whatever.
Well, what were your thoughts about the Direct before we kind of jump into the stuff?
So I had it on while I was working, so I guess my full attention wasn't on it.
Right.
But I liked it. Overall, I liked it. It had a high, it started very great, and then it kind of dipped, and then it ended strong too.
What?
So it was like a reverse Oreo.
What? I was so disappointed.
You were so disappointed?
Yeah, I thought it was so weak. Okay, this is going to be a great conversation.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought the Direct was super weak. I thought nothing was exciting about the entire. Not a single thing was exciting. I will go over it probably later on when you go through what was announced.
So we'll go through and talk about what we.
But since spoilers, the only thing I was excited about were the Joy-Cons. That was it.
Those are some cool looking Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
That'll cost you half a paycheck. Okay, so the first thing they opened with was Smash Bros, which was fantastic. So I knew that I could kind of just tune out after that for the most part. So I hope I'm pronouncing their names right. Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are going to be joining Smash Bros. Ultimate in March. I have no idea what number character we're on now, 70-something, I'm sure. Maybe 79. So there's two really big reasons you should play these characters, and that joke is also the punchline.
Oh, man.
Honestly, okay. If you see these characters...
They're those kind of characters from anime.
Yeah.
The women kind.
Right, and it's just you can have characters with big body proportions, or you can have the skin tight.
Alex is about to get canceled. It's fine.
You can get these characters with those proportions, or you can have the skin tight costumes. You can't do both.
Yeah.
Because then if you do both, I just can't take them seriously. And that's kind of the huge turnoff for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, in my opinion. I really haven't been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles, but I've never beaten it, so my point is very valid.
I've played half of it, which is a fine game. There's really not too much fan service, pandery stuff. But then a reason why I haven't finished it is because I know that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the next jumping point. And I'm these character designs they're too I don't know. It's what are you doing?
Can I tell you why I didn't want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, even though it was a good launching point?
Sure.
Because Rex's pants look stupid.
Also, yeah.
That was the main reason I didn't want to play Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah,
because I did not like the main character's
Some people are
pants.
those British voices are a little weird. I'm I don't mind the British voices. I think it's an interesting twist for a JRPG. The character designs in Xenoblade Chronicles
weird.
2. Yeah, it's just the main character, he also seems like super vanilla. Like so uninteresting. And then you have these body proportion girls. It's like,
all right,
dude, like...
I gotta say it. J'accuse.
What?
J'accuse. I accuse you. So you can't take any character seriously that has skin-tight clothes and has big body proportions.
I mean... I don't want to use an absolute in that statement.
Tifa Lockhart.
Okay, but the thing is, and I knew this was coming. I totally knew in my head this was coming. She was made in the 90s, all right? And now in 2020 when they made Remake, they actually like reduced.
Sure, they reduced. However,
they're trying.
They're
trying to make her more of like a serious character.
However, they're still there.
It's still a thing. I get it. Yeah. But the thing, I don't know. In Xenoblade Chronicles 2,
Alex's face is just like, how am I supposed to talk around this topic while still sounding
like not getting
correct.
Canceled? Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like they're pandering too much to a like
specific
young male
audience.
Yeah. And,
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems
yeah.
to me.
I think so. The reason I wasn't excited for this, and I think Alex just gets excited over Smash Bros.
Content,
News in general, is that he like still plays the game. The reason I wasn't excited for it is that you can't really follow Sephiroth. There's no way you can follow Sephiroth in any way. I don't know why they didn't keep Sephiroth for this announcement and then just like let the other Pyro girls like launch whenever that was. But Sephiroth would have been a bigger splash. I would be totally fine with that being delayed until for this big announcement. The only way they were going to be able to not have disappointed fans, because I'm pretty sure the Smash community is pretty disappointed. Granted, I do believe that the Xenoblade Chronicles games deserve more representation within the Smash game. The only way that people weren't going to be disappointed is if it was going to be Master Chief or like Kratos. Or like Sora.
Yeah, there's always going to be disappointment with any sort of news. The Smash Bros. Community, because like we've been given like Joker from the start. Yeah, like that kind of set the bar. So like if it's not
Joker level, you're
right.
done.
Then people are like just crapping on it. So honestly, like even though I don't like their designs and I think like it's lazy and whatever they were trying to do. They seem like cool characters. They kind of like the chic Zelda / like Pokemon trainer thing now, where if I'm assuming it's like a down
switch,
B,
down B, you switch.
So there's like similar movesets, but they have like different properties. I don't know. They seem cool. Not who I would have wanted. Give me Mrs. Game & Watch. Yeah. Mr. Game & Watch has been lonely since Melee.
It's fine. You probably enjoy these characters if you enjoy a lot of plot in anime. Why are you laughing? I don't understand.
It's funny. So they're coming out in March. I mean, I'll at least,
well, you own it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I already bought the character.
You already spent the $30, so.
True. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, overall, I'm not really upset by it. I think it's cool, like you said. Mm-hmm. It's becoming like a main Nintendo franchise, so it's getting more recognition.
It's interesting that you think this was like a high. Like that's what's kind of dissonant with me, because when I saw it,
was a cool trailer.
Was it? Because I thought it was really awkward.
Kind of cool.
Like, oh, where's Pyra? Look, have you seen Pyra? Yeah. for what, like 40 seconds? Pyra, where are you?
Well, okay, it was cool because it wasn't immediately obvious it was Smash Bros.
Yeah, people thought it was like a sequel or like a DLC.
Sequel, yeah. But then like you see
it was so obvious
on Final Destination.
Yeah, it was so obvious. I was like,
yeah.
That's
like part of the reveal is not only just the character, but like the trailer. Like the Sephiroth trailer, like I think that was the coolest part about the character.
Yeah.
So cool. Stabbing Mario, the overalls, him like cutting the World of Light stuff. So that was cool. But you're right, nothing can really top Sephi.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So next up is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. This actually came at the end. This news came at the end.
There was no news about Legend of Zelda Breath
there
of the
was.
Wild 2.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 news is planned for later this year.
Okay, first and foremost, that's terrible.
They did. That was
no. You cannot tell me All right, listeners, if you didn't watch the direct, you cannot tell me that the director of the person going on the screen and says, hey, because you see me, you're probably expecting Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 news. However, do not expect that during this direct.
Okay.
There will be more news later on this year about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. What?
I like that.
But that was exciting for you, that you were going to get news at a later date.
I'm not going to say that was exciting for me.
But you said that was a high.
It's a part of the high.
How is that a high?
It's a part of it.
I'm so floored right now.
I would rather them say that than just, like, not address it at all.
It's like the same thing as saying, oh, Bayonetta 2, there's going to be some more news later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that, like, development is going okay given everything going on in the world.
How many other places have made those statements? Like, oh, development for the new Monster Hunter game is underway. Development for Metroid Prime 4 is going smoothly. Development for the next Mario Kart game is probably never going to happen. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, I just like...
I'm sorry that I'm so heated right now.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so heated.
Because you're excited about someone that says, oh, you were probably expecting news today?
Not excited.
Or happy about it.
Yeah, like they're addressing that, hey, like we can't talk right now, but it is coming, it will happen. Here's other stuff. Like it's better than not addressing it.
So
That's
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question. Let's say it's another situation and says, who's the director for Kingdom Hearts?
Nomura?
Yeah. So let's say like at the Kingdom Hearts Symphony, he goes on screen and this says, hey, you're probably expecting some Kingdom Hearts
I'm not.
No.
Given their track record, I'm not.
Right. And then people get excited that he's on screen. And then you're like, there's going to be more news later this year about Kingdom Hearts. Like, that's that's positive to you?
It would be terrible if then he just left. But they said that, and then they had more news about Zelda.
About the bad one.
Well, so let's get into that now then. So
I'm so sorry, dude.
No, it's okay. So maybe why you're not even like neutral about this, you're negative about it, is because your feelings about Skyward Sword then.
Right.
So right after Aonuma said that Breath of the Wild 2 news is planned for later this year, he revealed. Why are you
laughing? Because you know.
I just find it funny that you're so heated over this. Then he began to show a trailer for Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, which is planned for the Switch, alongside special Joy-Cons, which kind of match the Hylian shield in the left hand or right hand.
It doesn't matter.
Left.
It doesn't.
I think left. And then in the right hand, kind of supposed to look like the Master Sword.
Yeah.
So I've never played Skyward Sword. It's divisive. I understand the community's feel on it. I think part of why people hate it is because the motion controls. The unresponsive motion controls, which have been, like, they definitely made a point in this trailer to talk about how it's been revamped. Not revamped, perfected.
Improved.
Yeah.
Let's not say perfect. Let's not.
Okay, yeah.
Let's not go above and
Dude,
beyond.
you hate Skyward. Have you played Skyward Sword?
I played for a little bit, and
I
did not like it.
Okay, I mean, grain of salt, IGN gave it like a 10.
Yeah, but then like
but they give
6 months later, they're like, oh, it's probably didn't deserve a 10.
Yeah. I mean, I heard like narrative-wise, this is fine. I think the other reason some people don't like is because you backtrack through some dungeons. I don't know, because again, I've never played. This came out like the end of the life cycle of the Wii. So I'd already moved on.
To bigger and better things.
I already moved on from the Wii. But I wanted to play Skyward Sword, actually, because if you know the Zelda timeline and how effed up it is and so confusing, the very beginning of it is not, because it is just one line, and the very first game in the timeline canonically is Skyward Sword. So to see like the very beginning of it, like the creation of the Master Sword, the first version of Link and Zelda, kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. I kind of expected it because there was kind of just rumors of it.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm going to buy it.
I think maybe I'm being a little too harsh.
I think you are, Ralph.
Okay.
I think you are. Usually that's my job, to be like overly angsty about news. But
right, so I'm going to bring it down here.
Thank you.
I think...
You're yelling at me.
Why are you trying to out me all day? This is a fun one. I think the reason that I'm really like up here, like level 10 volume of
11.
everything, is that everyone knows that it's the 35th anniversary of Zelda, right? And so being the first direct in months, and being in the 35th anniversary of Zelda, and then everyone knows that Breath of the Wild 2 is in development, and then they come in and say, oh, there's no Breath of the Wild 2 news, but here's this remaster again.
It's not again.
No, I'm just talking about like,
oh, they remastered.
Here's another remaster from the Wii.
Yeah.
Here, like, it's just one of those crazy things. Is that, and I'm sure that you're going through the rest of the news, but in general, other than like the 2 or 3 things that were new, everything was a re-release. Everything was a remaster. So like, it was just one of those things. By the time the the Zelda news came in, like 5, 6, 7 remasters have already been announced.
There were a few remasters.
So that's why I was so tilted. I'm just like, you knew that people would be expecting Breath of the Wild news today, so you made a statement about it. But here's another remaster of the Zelda game that a lot of people do not like.
Yeah, it could have been. It should have been more. I will totally admit that. Skyward Sword is a game that I've wanted to play, so now I'm having more accessibility to it. So that's why I like it. It's really a shame that there wasn't any news about like a 35th anniversary special thing.
Even just like an announcement of a 35th anniversary Switch.
Yeah.
Like that would have been like,
I'm assuming that'll happen with the Breath of the Wild 2 news.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Breath of the, or like a Zelda mini direct.
The Joy-Cons are super cool. Like now that I'm down here at like a level 2 and a level 3.
Now that you've let it all out.
At a reasonable rate. But that is the reason I was so disappointed in this news, because I was not really a Zelda fan until Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild really roped me in, and I was actually excited for Zelda news, and it just didn't happen.
You can play Skyward Sword with me with the fixed motion controls. I'm kind of excited for it. Although Zelda looks kind of weird. I don't know if you saw the character model.
She looks too young.
She's got like what? Okay, no. I was going to say she has like a square nose in this one. I don't know. It looked kind of weird to me, but... okay, moving on.
This is such a weird episode.
Also, what happened at the very end of this, the Nintendo Direct, was Splatoon 3, which I thought was a really cool trailer, really interesting, like kind of really short gameplay footage, but it's slated for 2022, so definitely a while away. I'm kind of surprised Splatoon is becoming like this big
it's like a mainstay.
IP franchise for Nintendo. Because when Splatoon 1 launched, was that on the Wii U?
Yes, I believe so.
So I saw that, and the Wii U is the Wii U. Nothing more really needs to be said. But I saw Splatoon and like what the concept is. I'm like, really? Why would they even try this? But then like it's stuck. And obviously, like, people love Splatoon 2. The Inklings are, like, they're cool. They're, like, better versions of Mii's, in my opinion. Just, like, their models and stuff. So it seems like... Mom, I want Call of Duty. We have Call of Duty at home. Splatoon. It's like that meme, but Splatoon is actually, like, good. Yeah. And people do, like, really like it. I haven't played it, so I can't really say about it.
Yeah, so on my end, I totally recognize the same way that Alex does. Splatoon is definitely a big game. And the reason I just wasn't super hyped about this direct is just it didn't resonate with me. I think it's just because we're older. And that's not Nintendo, and that's not Nintendo's fault. One thing that I did
make us stop aging. Yeah. Come on,
right? But one thing that I did want to bring up to you while I was watching this direct with the games that they were showcasing, and they looked fine. Does the Switch start showing its age?
Oh, that's a good point.
That was my first thought, and I was like, this is always a Nintendo problem. Whenever a new console comes out, it starts to show its age. And I know it's still super cool to play on handheld mode, but eventually that novelty is going to wear out. And so when I was watching these games and looking at them, like, that looks it doesn't look bad, but it's not as good as where it should be.
Yeah.
Right? So
totally. Yeah, that statement like definitely stands true to the Switch out of all the Nintendo consoles. I mean, that's really just because the Wii U was the Wii U. So they were like, we need to do something like now. Right.
Because one of the things is that with Nintendo, they've always, leaned on their like design, their style, their art style, the colorfulness. But, when I see Astrobot and then when I see Sackboy, that has the same charm and quirkiness, then I see the new Mario game, and there's a lot of aliasing, which is the little jaggies on the character models or the environment. I'm starting to think they're starting to fall behind, and Nintendo's never been that type of company that wants to compete graphically, but it's one of those things where there's going to be a moment where people are not going to be excited for Nintendo games because it's going to look old. And I don't know when that switch happened for me. Get it? But it's definitely starting to hit in my head, especially since I'm starting to see some really beautiful games on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox and PC.
Yeah. Like, if it's not one of their main games, like Mario, Zelda, perhaps Splatoon.
Even Splatoon, though. Like, when you looked at the Splatoon trailer, I'm like, this looks like a last-gen game.
Yeah. Granted, it's coming out in 2022, so far from being complete.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, if it's not, like, one of those, like, heavy hitter, like, this is why you play Nintendo, I, like, don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
On Switch. Like, there's just no reason for me to.
Yeah, but put 13 Sentinels on Switch and I'll buy it.
It seems like it'd be meant for it.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised why it hasn't. But yeah, here we are. So yeah, I thought Splatoon 3 was cool. Yeah, glad they have like a shooter genre for Nintendo, which is pretty sweet. They didn't before.
They did it. They got there.
Yep. Let's see, more stuff that was announced. Mario Golf Super Rush, which whenever I see this, I always think it says Sugar Rush. I don't know. That's probably just me. Mario Golf
From Wreck-It
Sugar
Ralph.
Rush. Yeah, right. Slated for June this year. Man.
Give me Strikers. Where's Strikers?
Oh, yeah. So, I loved the Mario Golf game. So, on the N64, Toadstool Tour on the GameCube. I'm, like, not excited about this. I don't know. Maybe it's just because there's not a lot you can do with the gameplay.
I also just don't like golf in general. So.
I don't either. But there's something like the Mario Golf games. It's just, like, it's calming. It's easy.
Play Animal Crossing.
It's fun. Yeah, I guess I just, like, showed my hand there. Yeah. I don't know. I can't justify expending $50.
I know a lot of people are excited for Mario Golf. It's just that there are so many other sports games that was part of the GameCube era that was super cool and edgy, and they just disappeared. So I'm kind of bummed about it.
Yeah, so they're kind of bringing them back. And they had the tennis one on the Switch too. So I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm older, or like maybe I expect more from video games. But like I just look at that, and I'm like, I don't want to waste time.
It's weird, right? Because
it is weird.
I used to play a lot of sports games when I was younger, and I just don't play them anymore. Yeah, so it's weird.
I don't know. It's just, I think it's that thing of we started this podcast, professional and casual gamers, just like 9 to 5. Now we have to choose our time wisely with games. Like I just don't think
golf game.
I don't think I can like justify spending $50 on a game where like I would probably only play it for like 5 hours and be like, okay, I probably should have done something else, but here we are.
Our friend Kevin out there is probably like, what? You don't want to play a golf game?
Yeah, right. He would probably be all over that. Yeah. Project Triangle from Square Enix coming in 2022.
What's up with these names?
Yeah, the game isn't called Project Triangle. That's just like their test name for it. It's by the same team that did Octopath Traveler. So, and I read that it's not a sequel. It's like a successor to like that world and whatnot. So it seems like, kind of like if you're into Fire Emblem, it's a tactical strategy.
One thing I did want to note, one of my friends from work tried the demo.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that he said was that the battle system is it takes a long time. While in Fire Emblem, your battles may last maybe 10 to 15 minutes. The battles in...
Like each map?
So the battles in Project Triangle, they last 30 to 40.
Okay.
So like
that's interesting.
They're not like digestible. So he's kind of curious to see how people are going to react to that.
There's some like I remember in the Wii and the GameCube Fire Emblem, there's some like maps later in the game where they would take you like 20-25 minutes.
Right. But he said 30 to 45.
Yeah, that little bit more definitely adds up if it's like every level. So, and if you can save your progress and turn on whenever, I'm assuming you'd be able to. But yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, that's coming in 2022. Star Wars Hunters by Zynga coming this summer.
Have you told them?
No. Okay, so I don't really want to give away like so much information like what company I'm going to in my next job, but yeah, we kind of hinted at it last time while we were celebrating. We're a little under the influence of alcohol. Yeah, I did accept a job into the video game industry. Super excited about that. But that's really all the information I'm gonna tell. But yeah, starting in a couple weeks, and yeah, it's gonna be great. So this game, it kind of seems like Battlefront, but just on the Switch. Yeah.
Is it just Switch, or are there other platforms?
That's a good question. I think mobile and Switch. I could be wrong.
Okay.
So yeah, it just seems like team based, making like there's specific roles you could play, and a shooter. So more
That's
Star
cool.
Wars stuff. Who doesn't want it? Yeah. I think if it's free, I would definitely check it out. I would maybe consider paying for it too.
Yeah.
Because love Star Wars and sounds fun. Let's see. Fall Guys coming to the Switch and Xbox in the summer.
Oh, and Xbox?
And Xbox Series X.
I thought it was just going to be... I just thought it was just going to be... what do you call it?
Just the Switch.
But that's going to... That thing's about to blow up again.
Yeah, that was the thing, because people are like probably wondering like, why isn't this on the Switch? Why isn't it on more stuff? Honestly, like in retrospect, it kind of makes sense because their servers were struggling so much.
It's about to crash again over the summer.
Yeah, it probably will. But this game, like I thought it would die.
My wife has 100 hours.
Yeah,
in Fall
Sam
Guys.
is single-handedly... No, she's not single-handedly keeping this afloat. But like, I always play over here. And like the matchmaking is so fast. It's so just like you're doing it for like a couple seconds and you found like 60 players. So it has a solid and healthy player base. And I think it's only going to get better with the inclusion of Nintendo Switch and Xbox consoles. They have so many more costumes and like collaborations with other franchises. Like Fall Guys turning out to be a very good, healthy online game.
It was the PlayStation Plus equivalent of Rocket League.
Yeah,
so PlayStation
basically.
Plus very much so launch this game into stardom.
Yeah, which is cool. Nice little twist on the Battle Royale formula, right? Next up, Ninja Gaiden Master Collection announced for the Switch. Ninja Gaiden, whatever. I don't know.
Alex is over.
I was kind of excited when they first showed this, but then like they showed the gameplay, and I'm like,
all those remasters, man.
Yeah, you can only remaster something so much before you just need to scrap it and build it from the ground up. And this is kind of a good example of that, because yes, it was remastered, but like it still looked ugly. And I've never played these games, but I wanted to.
Yeah.
I always wanted to growing up. They're kind of like the inspiration for Souls games, I feel like.
Yeah. You know what's a good remaster? Mass Effect Legacy Edition.
Oh my god. Yeah, it sure is. When is that coming out? Like April?
It's May.
May, okay.
It's already in my calendar.
I bet. I have time. Maybe I'll buy it. Yeah. So Super Mario items will be added to Animal Crossing New Horizons this month. I think that's pretty cool. Do you even still play?
I haven't had a chance. All of our villagers probably left, and the island's probably on fire. So.
Oh. Okay.
We get too many
I bet Animal Crossing is still like popping though. Right. So yeah, that's good for that. Miitopia.
Why?
Arriving on Switch in May 2021.
It's another remaster.
Dude, I think Miitopia looks kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's another remaster.
I didn't have a 3DS, so I actually was like, I saw that, and at first I was like, this is dumb. But I'm like, wait, this is actually kind of cool. So I think generally it's like a RPG, but you like build your party with like Miis, and there's like a storyline and stuff. I don't know. That sounds like it'd be kind of fun. I could like make you could be like the tank. I'll also be like the archer in the back.
You can just make a MMO with a better character customization.
I guess. But the charm of the Miis and the Nintendo characters.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, by this point, so many remasters and remakes and re-releases has happened that I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah, I guess. But if you didn't have a chance to play them, like, this is why remasters can be good, is to make those games that, like, maybe miss the mark because, like, when they launch or, like, the platform they launched on, they're now more accessible. To just remaster a game for the sake of remastering it, which has happened a lot, I think that's just moot point. Yeah, of course I gotta throw this one in there. Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir, and Famicom Detective Club, The Girl Who Stands Behind.
Another remaster. Great.
It is, yeah. Sold separately, of course, and are both being fully localized for the Nintendo Switch. I kind of don't like that wording, fully localized.
It means the voice actors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not... The text is in English, but the dialogue is still in Japanese.
Is it?
At least that's what they showed in the trailer.
I thought fully localized meant text and voice was...
I would think that too, given the verbiage, but in the trailer they only showed Japanese voices with English text, which makes me believe...
Some marketing BS.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say about it. I'm just into anime, so I wanted to bring that one.
13 Sentinels.
Yeah. Monster Hunter Rise trailer was shown before its launch next month in March. I don't know if you watched that.
I want to play it.
Are you going to play it?
I want to, but the issue is that there's so many games coming out. I don't know if I'm going to be done by with Strikers.
Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, like, we'll see. We'll see if I feel like it. I just don't want to play on the Switch. It's like, I don't want to play a Monster Hunter game on the Switch.
Because does
that sound weird? Like, yeah, I know that was specifically made for the Switch, but like, I've seen what great looking Monster Hunter is. So like, going to a Switch is just like a weird thing to me.
I think a lot of people are probably happy it's on the Switch. I get what you're saying, and I think I'm in the same boat too. But I think people love the portability of it. Like, it's so weird to think that there was Monster Hunters on like the PSP and the 3DS. Yeah. It's like, how, like, didn't they, like, explode?
Right, but the difference is we're not going to work. So, I don't need to take my Switch to work. Rather, I can just play a Monster Hunter game, like, on my PlayStation when I'm done at work. Mm-hmm. There's no commute, so. Yeah, I'm playing Monster Hunter. Sure, I'm monitoring my emails, whatever, but I'm playing Monster Hunter. Similarly to that, Bravely Default 2 trailer was shown before it's launching next week, or maybe this week, depending on when you're listening to this, on the 26th. So, I was going to ask you, because Strikers comes out, I think 2 days prior. Well, I'm playing Strikers, spoilers. But the main thing is, I'm actually... Persona 5 Strikers. I'm a huge Bravely Default fan. I played 1 and Bravely 2nd. Yeah. It's one of those things, and Alex knows this, and some of you listeners know this. I'm a little bit of a graphic snob, unless it's, like, amazing. And then 2... the character models are just they're so weird. They're weird. This is gonna sound, and there's nothing against the developers, nothing against Square. Looks like a PS2 game. I'm gonna just say it. It looks really bad. Yeah, I wish they went with the art style of the overworld, which is more painterly. But because now it's so like crisp and crispy, like the character models, like chicken nuggets, it's so unnerving. And it just looks weird. They added textures to the models, and so it just looks off to me, and it makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, like, the first 2 were on, like, the DS, right? The 3DS. And it makes sense. So, like, it gets a pass, but when you put on here, there's definitely more expectations, higher expectations, if you will. So, I don't know, like, it's a JRPG. It'll probably have, like, an interesting storyline. Maybe, I don't know. I love the stories. It's very like old school Final Fantasy story. For Bravely Default. I think the reason this game looks like this is I believe Square most likely developed this for the DS, and then the Switch came out. And so they had to pivot and upscale it to a Switch audience, but too much work on the arts have already been done, so they couldn't really pivot that. Gotcha. I mean, nonetheless, it'll probably be a good game. It's just, a little weird, all things considered. No More Heroes 3 trailer was shown, and the game will be launching in August. Yeah, Cone, huge shout out to you. If you're on this, you'd be super excited for this. Oh, this one looks cool. Knockout City.
is launching on the Switch, also alongside the PC and other consoles.
So Fortnite Dodgeball?
Yeah. So
I thought the trailer was kind of campy, though. I didn't like it.
It was campy, but I was like, okay, this looks kind of fun. It's not really like Fortnite. It's not a battle royale, that is. Yeah. But it definitely has like the same art style and aesthetic. It's like 3v3 or 4-on-4, and instead of like guns, you just have balls. You're playing dodgeball, right? You're trying to like hit the other person, and it's kind of interesting because if you catch it or like if you deflect it back, it gains speed.
So it'd be harder to catch.
So it gets harder. It's not just like, okay, the same speed over and over. Like there is like some ramping difficulty, so to say. So like honestly, I would be down to like play this. There's crossplay too, so if someone's on the Switch, you can play with PC and other consoles. I definitely would not drop $60 for a freaking team deathmatch dodgeball game. But if it was like a PS Plus game that was free, if it was like up to like $20, like I would totally do that. That sounds very feasible.
Yeah, it looks fine.
It looks fine. So yeah, that was the Direct for the most part. There was some stuff that I omitted on here, but
Alex loved the Direct. He thought it was some really highs in the beginning, a little bit of a lull in the middle, and then highs at the end.
I thought it was a fine Direct. It was cool. It was fun to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex Samuel, tastemaker.
I guess. Yeah. So, budget gaming. Game Pass, what's been added is Wreckfest and Pillars of Eternity 2 Ultimate Edition. I don't really have much to say about either of those. I know Pillars of Eternity is like people love those games. They're very time consuming, very like RPG heavy, but people love
them. Downloaded Wreckfest.
Is it fun?
I haven't had a chance to check it out, but since Destruction All-Stars didn't do it for me.
It definitely did seem like,
hopefully Wreckfest is better.
Yeah. Sweet. PlayStation, there's a double discount sale. Honestly, not really anything big here. Your wallet is probably safe. But some stuff, Need for Speed Heat for $38.99 and Dreams for $14.99.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, Dreams is cool. Ralph has it. I was watching him play a little bit. I played Played
Sonic.
Well, yeah. So basically, like, you can make your own game / levels, and then other people can play it. Kind of like in the same vein as like Little Big Planet. Is it the same developer? Yeah, that makes sense. Nintendo Jackbox Party Pack 3 for $16.24.
That's good.
Yeah, there's a lot now. There's like 7, right?
Right, I have all of them.
Nice. I think 3 is like one of the better ones.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any of them and you want to play with friends, definitely a solid choice. Steam, we got Valheim, which is still in early access.
It's blowing up.
Yeah, for $19.99. It kind of seems like Rust. But
it's like a survival game, but like
Vikings. Yeah. So that's cool. Epic Games Store, 2 games for free. Phantasy Star Online 2.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And Magic Legends, which is like Magic the Gathering, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not bad.
Cool. So, thank you for sticking around for our weird 23rd episode of Professionally Casual Gamers. We had a lot of fun hanging out with each other, and we hope you did too. If you have any discussion topics or questions, send it over on professionallycasualgamers@gmail.com or on our Instagram / Twitter @professionallycasualgamers. See you next week, and keep it casual.
Bye.